Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudos Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. I am down at the table, my desk today, and do pardon me for the dirtiness on my thing here. This is my mouse pad, and it does reflect a lot and it gets dirty really easily. But so today, as you've seen in the thumbnail, it is a tutorial. Now this is my version of a mile a minute strip, using what I'm touching my chest like you guys can see me doing that, what I'm calling the muffin stitch. Now, I don't know if this has ever been done before. If it has, I came up with this on my own. It did take me a little bit to get it down to what I liked, for the stitch count and everything. This was my first attempt, and I did boo boo because I put a bottom on top of a bottom instead of a top on top of a bottom. But this was my first one. I did a solid color and a white border with this one. This was using, I love this cotton in, yeah, if I can remember what color this is called. It's a color I got to finish a star blanket because I ran out of the normal color, and that color had been discontinued, and this was the closest I could find to match it. I think it was sun gold or something like that, but it isn't. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. So is the white is Mainstays white. These are both 100% acrylic for medium worsted weight yarns, and I have been using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. I did use also a 6, so you can use a 6 or whatever you feel comfortable with for a worsted weight yarn. I'm not going to do a written pattern for this because it's a really simple, just, 2-row repeat, that's it, a bottom and a top. And you just keep going until you have it the length that you want. I was thinking that this could almost be, if I cut it off sooner, I could probably make this into a bookmark, with a smaller yarn, a thinner yarn. So I might look into doing that and showing you guys what I did, and how many rows I did, or how many sets of muffins I did with it. So that's the first sample. Now, neither one of these have been blocked. I don't really block anything, but if you're into blocking, that's good. This one here, even though there is a boo-boo in it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's not really a full 8 because of this right here. So I did do another one, and I'll show you that one now. I just finished this one, so pardon my tails. I don't think I hid the tails on the other one. This one is also using the Mainstay white, from Walmart, and this one here is from Hobby Lobby, and it was in the big skeins that they have. I think it's the 1-pounder skeins. This was on clearance, I don't know how many years ago now, at Hobby Lobby, so you probably won't be able to find this color. But you can use any worsted weight yarn that you want to. If you want to use a smaller yarn, like a 3-weight, I used a 5 on another part of this sample, so a 5 millimeter or an H8 would work. And if it's a thicker yarn, you could, if you have a 7, for like a 5-weight yarn, you could use that, or an 8. Again, it all depends on how you want it to look when it's complete. Do you want it to be drapey? Do you want it to be a little, closer in stitches so there's not many holes like this? That's what I don't get about I mean, if they're small enough, okay, I can understand because it is more breathable. But my husband does not like holes in his blanket like this. Even if it's part of the stitch, he doesn't like it. So, you can use like I said, you can use a 5.5 millimeter or a 6 millimeter for 4-weight. And I'll go ahead and I'm going to do, this one I'm doing now is going to be in the blue, and then I'll put the border on with the white, so you can see how that looks. And again, You can make them longer than this. You can make them shorter. Um, I am going to come out with I've been working on, if you want to make it blink, just repeating it back and forth with the rows, um, instead of in the strip like this. I am getting that worked on, and that is going to be a little bit different on the stitch, on the way that the stitch is worked up. So whatever I tell you today is just for the mile a minute strip. You won't be able to uh, do like back and forth rows. So if you wanted to do like 10 of these in one way, I'm working on the calculations for the stitch multiple. So I'm only going to tell you how many chains I start with to do the one, going just one strip of it. Now that doesn't mean you can't figure out the stitch multiple. So if you do, that's great. If you make this, let me know what you made with it. Pictures, you can post it on the community tab now. They're allowing for subscribers, viewers to post pictures. I did post a few pictures of my girls the other day. If you've got fur babies, you can always add your pictures if you want to. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the foundation chain. Well, that's not really a foundation chain, but you know, the chain. So once you have your oh, and if you are new to crochet, you might need a stitch marker. At least two stitch markers for this. I'm not going to use a stitch marker, but I will show you where you would place it if you do need to use one. So this is how I learned this technique from Jennifer at Cinnamon Stitches. So I wrap my yarn under the strand to make it look like a ribbon. I go through the hole. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in focus here. I pull that yarn here to make a slip knot. Everybody makes a slip knot different, however you want to do your slip knot. Now once you got your slip knot, you're going to go ahead and chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there's the starting chain of 11. Wait until this focuses. I really need to get that new camera. So there's 11. And then we're going to go ahead and yarn over and go into the 5th chain from the hook. So you don't got the one on the hook. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to do one double crochet in this stitch. So you'll yarn over, go through that 5th stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over. Come on, focus. So you'll have 4 loops on your hook. You'll go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the next 2. And you've made your first double crochet. I'm not counting this turning chain of 4 as a stitch. This is the first stitch of the row, the double crochet. And then you'll chain 1, skip 2 chains. So we're going to skip, into that 3rd chain. We're going to put 3 double crochets. This is the bottom of the muffin, cupcake, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to do 3 double crochets. You can grab both strands of yarn if you want to. If you can't get both of them, you don't have to worry about it. Pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through the last 2 loops. And you'll do that 2 more times in that same stitch, chain. It's not really a stitch yet, it's a chain. Okay, and then you'll have 3 double crochets. You should have 3 remaining chains left. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next 2 and go into the 3rd, which is your last chain, and just place 1 double crochet. Now this one is always a hard one to get that extra strand, that extra one in there, so I don't really mess with it. And then do one more double crochet, and that's row 1. Wait till that focuses. So you've got the turning chain of 4, 1 double crochet, skip 2 chains, 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 chains, double crochet into the last chain. Now we're going to go ahead and chain up 4. So 1, 2, 3. If you are using a stitch marker, this is where you'll place your stitch marker on the loop right below your hook, and then chain 1 more for 4. So that first 3 is your first double crochet plus a chain 1 space. And then go ahead and turn your work. And we're going to skip, I'm trying to see here, we're going to skip this double crochet because we already did it in the chain 4. We're going to skip the next double crochet and then into the next one, which is the middle of the 3 double crochet. We're going to place 5 double crochet in that chain, then that stitch. So there's 1. It will pull a little bit when you have the chain 4 up here, but that's okay. And then we'll do that 4 more times. Go back into that same stitch, another double crochet, again. I'm trying to go as slow as I can with this so you guys can see it and my camera picks it up. So that I've done 3, I need to do 2 more. And it may look a little off, your muffins might look a little tilted at first. But that it should straighten itself out once you go further up. So now I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. Alright, and there's the 5 double crochet. That's the top of the muffin or cupcake or whatever you want to call it. Now you can do this in a variegated color. I've done solids. I've done one that pink heathered blush from I have the thing here. I'll show it to you when I'm done with this. I don't want to keep sidetracking this. And then chain 1. And we are not counting, again, we are not counting this turning chain as the first double crochet. This is the first double crochet. So we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the top of that double crochet. And you've just completed row 2. So the ends are either going to have a chain 4, which is the double crochet plus a chain 1, and at the other end is going to be an actual double crochet. Now I know this is going to look kind of weird to some people, but when you put the border on, whatever border you decide to use, you're going to cover up this part. This stitch, you can cover it up if you want to, but you don't have to. I'll show you here. Let's see. Maybe I did cover it up. Oh, nevertheless, let me get back to the pattern here. So that's row 2. And then, since you'll have that stitch marker down here, you'll need 1 more stitch marker for this. So you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So after the 3rd one, don't forget to mark that stitch, because that's where you're going to put your last double crochet into. We're going to skip the 4th chain because that's the chain 1 space between stitches. So you're going to chain 3, place a stitch marker, chain 1. If you know where to find that at, you don't have to mark it, but if you are new to crochet, you want to make sure that you know exactly which chain you're going to put your double crochet into. Then turn your work, yarn over, and we're going to skip, obviously, that first double crochet. We're going to skip 2 more, and into the third, which is the middle of the top of the muffin, we're going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and you can slow this down if you need to, and 3. Okay? And then that's the bottom of your next muffin stitch. I know this looks kind of weird over here, but we'll get that taken care of here. And then chain 1 after your third double crochet. We're going to skip all the way over. We're going to skip the last 2 double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into the third chain from the previous row. So again, if you don't know where that is, make sure you put a stitch marker in that chain when you're chaining from that row. So if you forgot to do it, this is the first one, this will be the second one, and this is the third one. That's the chain 1 to give the extra space between, to give it a little give. And if you can, try to make sure you pick up both sides, get that through, and do your double crochet as normal. And row 3 is done. And you'll just keep repeating rows 2 and 3 until you have the size that the height that you want. I've always ended on a row 2 repeat, so the top of the muffin. So don't, and unless you want to end it with the bottom, that's up to you, but I ended mine on the top. So I'm going to keep working on this and talk to you guys, and when I'm done with however tall I want it to be, we'll go ahead and put the border on. And turn. I'll do one more. I'll do this row with you again. So we've got the chain 3 and then the chain 1. Chain 3 is the double crochet, your first one. Chain 1 is to give it a little room. And then we're going to skip over to the middle stitch, which is the second stitch of the 3 double crochet, and place 5 double crochet there. So I was going to get this video out yesterday. Unfortunately, when I was cooking dinner, my oven mitt decided to burn my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I wound up with blisters on one of my fingers. What the heck? Are you okay, Bear? Oh, my brownie bear is not feeling good today. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's been carrying one of her feet. And she's eating, but she's like refusing some stuff, and that's not like her, because she's my snacko kid. Alright, so there's the 5 double crochets in the second double crochet, 3 double crochets from the previous row. I've already chained 1, and then we're going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, and into that third chain we're going to place 1 double crochet, and again try to get both of the loops when you do the side. If you can't, that's okay. Okay, and then we'll repeat the bottom one again, the bottom of the muffin. 1, 2, 3, then 4, and turn your work. And if you need to count, if you need to know how to count where that stitch is at for the middle of whether it's the top or the bottom, to know where to place your 3 and 5 double crochets, you can turn your work and look here. So this one here is the chain 1 space. This is the first double crochet, second, and that's the third, fourth, and fifth, and then that's the chain 1 space. So you can always look to see where your V's are at. I know it's kind of hard the way I'm holding this. So this is the first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And we always want to put it in the third for the 3 double crochets into the third double crochet of the 5 double crochets together. Say that 10 times fast. And to put your 3 double crochets for the bottom of the muffin. Chain 1, and then into that third chain, 1, 2, 3, double crochet. And this also gives the space for the border. Now I did the granny border, which is the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets along the sides. You can do whatever type of border you want to do with yours, but I will show you how I did mine. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and we're working on our third complete one. 1, 2, 4. All right. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because it's very faint, but I do have a slight blistering on this finger here. Let's see. Watch it. Watch it not do it, just because I'm going to change my lighting on my camera. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, like right here and here. This finger was the worst. The whole hand got burned, but this one was the one that blistered up, and I knew it was going to before it even blistered. And I don't know how I got this finger too. I don't know if I brushed the pan that I was taking out of the oven against it, because I was just trying to get it out, because I pulled it out and immediately almost to the top of the stove, and it was like, ow. Apparently I got the oven mitt wet, and I know that's not good. You can't have a wet mitt and try to pull something out of the oven. It has to be dry. Bear, what's up? Go ahead and sit down, honey. Mommy's doing her video. Yeah, I'm teaching people the muffin stitch. She's got me scared because she's never really this, like she's responsive, but she's not acting like herself. All right, so now we're on to the row with the top of the muffin. So you'll want to go ahead and put 5 double crochets into the second or middle stitch from the previous row. So yeah, a few days before that I burnt bacon cooking in the oven. So I'm either burning food or burning myself. I can't win for losing. Now I will be coming out with another video today. There's exciting news from Premier Yarn, so the video won't be out before 12 p.m. EST. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm sure there will be a lot of people with this video, but I just wanted to let you know there will be a second video today as well. It'll kind of not make up, but you know, I did not get one yesterday. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can always double check to make sure you have the right amount of double crochets before you finish the row by just double checking. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then again, the V's on the top, you can count those as well. It's always the one behind the stitch when you're going this direction. Now when you turn it, it'll be the one that's in front of the stitch. I think that was one thing I had to really learn when I finally figured out how to crochet. I should have asked my grandmother to teach me how to crochet before she passed, but I did not. She taught my aunt, and my mom knew how to do some stuff, but it was just basically double crochet to make baby blankets. people. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep going until, like I said, until you have the height that you want. We have 1, 2, 3 complete. And I do believe, I was going to tell you guys how big this was, but I never did measure that. I'll put that in here after we're done here. Alright, so now this is, since we just finished the top of the muffin, we need to do a bottom part, the bottom of the muffin. So 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet. Next week, again, I'm not sure how I'm going to do with getting videos out, with the appointments I have to take my mother-in-law to. Some of them are like right after I get off work, and some of them are way later. But again, I have to take care of that. So it might be just a few videos next week. I'm still waiting on my Crochet Nation to show up, my newspaper. It has not arrived yet, and I'm not sure why it hasn't, but it has not arrived yet. I went to go check the mail yesterday and then remembered after I checked it that we weren't going to get any mail because of it being Juneteenth. It's like, is there a month that goes by that doesn't have at least one federal holiday? Next month we have the 4th of July. August, I don't think there's anything actually in August. September is Labor Day. October's Halloween, but that's not really anything people take off for. And then you got November for Thanksgiving. December, obviously Christmas, and then the New Year. I think August is, there are a few months. Let me know if you know how many months do not have a federal holiday. Alright, so we're going to do a top of the muffin here. But yeah, check back again later today for that news with Premiere. I want to say that I got this yarn 2023 because it was before I moved. 2022, so this yarn is like 3 years old. And I don't know where the label's at for it, but I remember getting it from Hobby Lobby's 75% off clearance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1 and into the top of the 3rd. Okay, so that's the next one there. I'm going to stop it here so I can show you guys how I do the border. And I've been actually doing this a little differently with the way that I end some of my crochet with doing that last stitch to do the slip stitch. I don't know. I might show you guys what I do. And I don't know how many other people have been doing this, but what it does is it brings the yarn to the back of your work instead of having it on the like it's there, but it's more towards the front than in the back, and that way you can hide your tail easier if you don't put a border on something. So I'm going to go ahead and into this here. Now I'm going to use my scissors I got from Joann's at 70% off. I love the color purple. Alright. So there's that. Okay. And you'll want to make sure you leave it like this. Don't turn it. Because this is this side is the right side. I mean, you can pick if you like the other side better, but I used this side for me is the right side. So row 2 is the right side. So all the even rows are right side rows. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my white yarn here. And you can pick whatever corner you want to start in. I always start at the top corner, but you can start in a different corner if you want to. Alright, and I'm going to put my hook through, pull the yarn through. I don't know if you saw that. Let me do that again. So I pulled the yarn through. After I put the hook through, pulled up the yarn, and I've got the tail here. I have not done an actual slip knot yet on here. And what I've been doing lately is using both the tail and the working yarn together to secure it, and then I do a chain 1. Actually, I don't know why I have that up there. Then I do a chain 1. Okay, and then you can pull that down. And then 3, I'm only going to do a partial corner. So I do 3 double crochet in the corner. One, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to chain 2. And I only do it on the top and the bottom of this because of the space, because of the size of the top of the muffin. Chaining 2 is a little bit better than just chaining 1. So let me go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go over to the other corner and do 3 double crochet. And this does pull a little bit, so you'll probably want to go ahead and, when you're done, is to block it to get it to, you know, and so that way you can also make sure it's correct for you. Okay. And then after the 3rd double crochet, chain 2, and then place 2 more double crochet into the same corner space. Well, if my hook would grab the yarn, that'd be great. Yeah, I got these. This one and another one from Hobby Lobby to test out because they were very close to Susan Bates style hooks. So I think they were, excuse me, I don't remember if they were part of a 75% off or if they were 30% off when they used to do the notions. I don't know if they still do notions on sale. Does anybody know that answer? Because I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in a minute. Last time I went there was shortly after I moved back to Texas. And I haven't been back since. So, alright, now in between on the sides, I'm just going to chain 1 and then place 3 double crochets into each space going down. And then I'll show you how I do that next corner space. Alright. Yeah, let me know in the comment section if you know if they do the notions at 30% off when it's not yarn 30% off. Oh, that's too loose. Let me fix that. Why is that? Let me take that apart. Well, that's just weird. I pulled the blue through that hole instead of just the white. So let me fix that. Nobody's perfect. I mean, I showed that in my first sample I did, so alright. But yeah, let me know if they still do the notions where they do like the hooks, the knitting needles and all that stuff at 30% off from time to time still, or if it's just the yarn that they do the 30% off. That order that I placed with Premiere during Creative Grandma's Live on Tuesday is ready to be shipped. They're just waiting for the person who they're going through. I think, I want to say it was USPS. The Postal Service is getting it, so that was a really good deal. I love Premier Yarns too. It's it is a shame that not more people carry it in store than, having to order it online. But hey, however you have to get it, right? I know I ordered a bunch of puzzle yarn through Walmart because it was actually cheaper to go with them than it was to go directly through Premier. But yeah, just make sure you can skip over where you ended the row or started the row. Just go over the chain 3, chain 4, actually it's chain 3, but just go over that or the double crochet for the 3 double crochets going down along the side for the border. Again, you can do whatever border you would like to do with this. You don't have to do the granny. This is easier though if you want to do as a join as you go, instead of having to do all the strips and then join them after. You just have to start. You have to do the border for the first one, and then you can do your next strip and then start the border, but you attach it as you're going along. Krista from the Secret Yarnery has a really good tutorial for join as you go. I have not done that yet. I probably will, because this pattern will probably be used in the future for a baby blanket. So I don't want to show you guys something that's actually somebody else's. I mean, I know there's probably a lot of people that have done the join as you go, but I think between her and Jada, they've got some really good tutorials that you can watch if you can't find another YouTuber that has it on their channel. I'm getting tongue tied. I need more coffee or I need more sleep. I'm not sure which. No, I hope my daughter feels better though soon. My husband will be home later tonight. I don't know how much later tonight, but he'll be home tonight. Her top of her head is really hot. I don't know if she caught her foot on something and hurt her foot, but she's just kind of out of it today. All right, now I'm at the corner, and this is where the turning chain and the other one are at. Now you could do this one of two ways. You can either put your corner here in between, or you can kind of squish it together and put it there on the other side of the first double crochet. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, on the one I just did before I started this recording, I'm trying to see it here. Yeah, it looks like I covered that up completely. Okay. So I did do it this way, so I went and did 3 double crochets around this. It does look a little clunky, so if you prefer, and I'll show you how it would look if you did it the other way, which is in between here, because that's technically not the first stitch, but you can use that space if you want to. Just make sure if you do it this way that you don't put anything between here, this stitch and this one, because then it'll be off from the top part. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to redo that. Let me just redo that part. Hey, like I said, nobody's perfect. Alright, so let's pull that together. And you might have to pull up a little bit too. get it to kind of work together for you. Come on. And you can, if the stitches are like lining up like you want them to, you can always play around with them. See how there's a lot of blue showing down here? You can just kind of set that down and move them as needed. I was trying to make sure that that didn't happen, but you know, such is life. You learn, you live, you get loved. I don't know if anybody remembers that back in the 80s and 90s. Chain 2 after your 3, and then you'll place 3 more in this same spot to finish off the corner. Okay, that did not want to pick up the yarn. Stop doing that. It's like it's picking up air. I think I might actually come up with a cup and stuff for that, because that just... Alright, and because we did a chain 2 at the top, I'm going to also do a chain 2 on the bottom to make it even with the space between here. And then we're going to jump over to the next corner and do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then work up the other side of the strip. Okay, that's 3, chain 2, 3 more. And you can hide your tails from the starting and the end while you're doing your border as well. Okay, and then after that's done, chain 2. And see how it's kind of curling up? That's why I said you may need to block them. Block either before or after you're completed with your project. I might actually use this as a bookmarker because it's not very long like my other ones are, and it's actually a pretty cool color. So, alright. If you use this stitch again, let me know what you've made with it. Whether it's just, you know, one long, because you could make one really long scarf for decoration with it if you wanted to. Like I said, I might use this one for a bookmark because it's not very long. It's wide enough I can put it in a book and have it sticking out. I could also add a tassel to it. So it's, you know, player's choice. But yeah, you live, you learn, you get loves. That was a saying that the Love's Diaper Company used to say back in the 80s and well, maybe not, I don't know when they stopped saying that. But yeah, that was a very popular saying, and I don't know why, but it just stuck with me. Anybody else get a saying from a company like that, and it just stuck with you even though they no longer use it? Like, best part of waking up is Folgers in my cup. I don't think they say that much anymore. Brownie, can you please lay down? You're making Mama worried. I even gave her some rice earlier, and she was kind of like being picky about it, in my opinion. But just hoping I'll hope that she starts to feel better at some point today, because I can't deal with that. I can't. And anybody that has fur babies knows what I'm talking about. You don't want to see them in pain, and you don't want to, you know, keep annoying them, because that just makes it worse for them. And I'm trying to just let her do her thing, but I'm also worried because she went out when I got up for work this morning. She went out and went potty and came back in, and I noticed she was really carrying her foot. She was just basically limping before that. She was putting some weight on it, but not a whole lot. But now she won't even put it down on the floor. And she's an AM staff, and they have skin issues. They've got allergy issues. It's just, and we already had a dog before her and her sister that had skin issues because of his breed. And yeah, that it's like, can Nick just not have any issues, please? My husband keeps yelling, talking about how I didn't want her when I didn't want her, and I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. She's gonna have issues with her skin. I love her to death. She had my namesake. Okay, so let me stop talking for a second. So we're back to where we started, but this is only a partial corner, so we need to make sure that 3 double crochets and a chain 2 are added to this spot. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Don't forget to do your chain 1 before that. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, and this is what I've been doing lately. So I'm going to pull this up. Okay, I got my chain 2, and that's my loop. I'm going to turn my work over. I'm going to stick my hook through the top of that first chain 3. Make sure you skip that chain 1 and go into that chain, the top of the actual double crochet. Then I'm going to grab this loop that I was working with, tighten it back up here. Okay, so I'm going in from the back of the strip, going into through the back of the top of the first double crochet, reattaching my yarn, pulling it through, and then yarning over and slip stitching. Okay, and I'll show you what that does. Don't cut yourself, Crystal. You're already freaking... Alright, and then all you have to do is tighten that, and your yarn is on the back side. So now, when you go, okay, well, where's that yarn at that I need to hide? It's already on the back. So you can work it through the back of the loops, the back of the double crochets, with it being back there. Let me know if you find that little trick interesting, and if you've ever tried anything interesting like that to help with hiding your tails or finishing off your project. Now, I wouldn't say doing that like at the end of a row. I mean, you could. I've never done it like that, but I've done it where it's been like the granny stitch. Now, there is a little bit kind of like a bump on the front side, but it's not that noticeable. Because if you were to just look at that, you wouldn't see that bump. It's right here. Alright, well, that is it for today. Let me know if you liked today's tutorial. If you're planning on making something with this stitch, what are you going to make? You're going to make a blanket? You're going to make maybe a bookmark? Like I said, you can always use thinner yarn to make it a little skinnier and still be a nice bookmark. I think this is the perfect size with a 4-weight. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sets of the muffin stitch. Alright, well, until next time, I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty, stay cool, and stay hydrated if you're in a hot weather climate right now. Bye-bye.